freezing the rent. So the thing is that there's a lot of people out there who want to go like against, everything the Democrats or DSA does or Mozoran does, and I see a lot of this material, being Republican. A lot of the, people are anti-Zorn are all in my feed and stuff. But to tell you the truth, when people's paycheck doesn't go up by 5% every year, right? There's a lot of landlords who love to just jack up the rent by 5% every year because they can, because legally they're allowed to. So they do it. And if someone else has to move, then, and what's ridiculous is that they just see how long they can get away with it. So, I don't think the normal person is getting a 5%, raise every year. And there's something called, what is it called? I think Einstein said that compound interest is actually like, one of the strongest forces in the universe. And if you take a look at your rent increase, it's cumulative, right? Because if you go up 5% every year, it's an exponential increase, because the increase isn't just 5% on that 1,000, it's 5% of whatever number it went up by, right? So it really gets out of control. Another thing with housing is when apartments go to $2,000 plus, the thing is that there is that apartment can be considered luxury and can be taken off of rent control. So that's why so many builders are trying to get to that number. So because the thing is that once it comes off rent control, the value of that apartment goes up in theory because it's not market restricted. So just on that classification alone, it gains a whole bunch of value. So there's some artificial, rules that exist within the system that cause, unnatural things to go on. And the thing is that the politicians want to make everyone happy. So the thing is, what they've done is they created this voucher system where the landlord can still continue to make money and, pump the rent up and the value of their investment or the property up every year. Now, theoretically, you can look this up on, AI or ask in search, right? But real estate is known to be the most corrupting force in local politics because, federally they take care of the military and the mail, and state they take care of, their state police versus city police. So the whole rent situation going on, there's a lot of landlords who just, without thinking, just automatically charge 5% more every single year because, it's in their financial interest. And we need to stop pretending like that's not necessarily the case. So I do feel like there's, outside of the rent control issue, there's definitely some concerns with making the landlords pay the credit checks and things like that. It feels like there may be, they're expecting the landlords to do everything, right? And this form of impacting one industry is, people have made their investment. Some people have chosen, people choose different things in life. Some people choose to go into healthcare. People try to go into teaching. People try to go into, maybe real estate and owning property. And these people all of a sudden are facing these new, I guess you could say, penalties, right? Their side of the industry is getting whacked out more. So maybe this is supposed to be like a corrective force because, like I said, real estate is going to be the most corrupting factor in, local politics. And especially in New York City, right, where the real estate has a lot of value. So if there's going to be, if they're going to allow the rent to be increased by 5% every single year, maybe there could be some kind of reporting requirements to justify that kind of 5% rent increase every single year, right? And if there really is going to repairs, then fine. But sometimes also if you repair it, the value of the property goes up. So the landlord may be artificially incentivized to do unnecessary repairs. And this happens in the medical industry all the time, right? They do unnecessary procedures to build the system. So there needs to be some kind. I believe that the best solution for this is for people who are living in their homes to own their own homes. So, you know, you can't really rip yourself off, right? Like, so we could do more to really encourage ownership versus this type of consumerist mentality. So if you have any questions or concerns, I'm going to make this one short today. I had a longer rant today about internal Republican politics and stuff like that, but maybe I'll say that for another day. All right, thanks for watching, folks. God bless.